Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Best Ever You Show. I'm Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino, and more importantly, we have Sheri Salata with us. Hi. Oh, my God.
Yay! So happy to be here.
Oh, we love you. And I don't know whether to hold up your book or your website first, so I'll just do both. Look at this, everybody. Gorgeous new website for Sheri. And
Yes.
and of course her beautiful book, The Beautiful No. So we're just going to spend some time with you. Girl
Yay.
chat, right?
Yes, I love it.
So tell me, how's your year been? Sorry.
Yes, I know. Here's the truth. I'm mining for gems. I'm in the coal mine and I'm mining for gems. And when I keep my perspective tuned in to abundance and to love and abundance, and I start to feel an appreciation. I start to feel the gifts that are coming my way, even though I have barely left my house in 9 months, except to mask up in my hazmat suit and go to the grocery store. I've barely left my house. I've done a couple little things here and there, but I've tried to be really careful. I haven't seen my 85-year-old dad, but I will say too, Elizabeth, that one of those gems, one of those gifts is I just had possibly the best Christmas because I produced massive Zoom calls with both sides of my family. And because it was more quiet and not, food, drinks, singing, everybody all over the place, we had those moments that brought us all to tears about what we mean to each other. So I'm gonna write that down on my grateful list, that there's a lot of things that have gone right for me.
Good. I love it. Yeah. Have you, you've got a new course coming out. I want to go kind of right for the course because I want to talk about because everybody's so in need of this information right now. I think we're looking for, and there's plenty of room for all of us too. I love that everybody's sort of like, oh, how do we deal with change and transformation?
Right.
You've got this wonderful write your news story for 2021, and a course coming out January 11th, and this gorgeous new website that everybody can go to and sign up. So do you want to tell us about that? I know it's my phone, but everybody, can you see?
That's so good. There it is. There's my little sign up page, SheriSalata.com.
Let's stay together. Here you go. Look, you can go right to our website. There it is.
So sweet. Well, here's the one thing I was thinking, that I decided that I was going to do a digital offering in 2021. And what I felt like is I had learned from writing my own story in my memoir, The Beautiful No. I had learned so much about myself. I healed so much about myself. I felt such a connection to all kinds of new possibilities and to the readers that was positively transformative. And I know that personal writing is on a lot of people's bucket list, like you and I've discussed before. And I thought, well, okay, how can I combine the conversation I want to have, which is how we can use words to transform our lives, and the power of our own vocabulary and our own storytelling, along with some really practical steps about doing really effective personal writing. So anyway, I only want to do what I want to do. So it's the conversation I'm having for myself. My position is that you are your own guru. I can offer people what works for me, what I'm thinking about, how I'm evolving, what's crossing my path. And that's what I intend to do for 5 days in January 11th through January 15th. And it's called Write Your New Story 2021. And I'm going to just come and lay down my heart, and it's going to be intimate and powerful and amazing. And then we'll go on from there. So I'm ready. If there's one thing I learned from this last year, that life as we knew it is not coming back. So what kind of life are we going to create? And are we going to keep saying that, technology is causing our own doom? Or are we going to use technology just like this to connect to one another and uplift one another? So I'm on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
Like you are.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I love it when people, one of the things I love most about people, I'm completely fascinated by other people. And I love other people's takes, advice, ideas, and so forth, because someone always sees something in you that you might not see in yourself.
Yes,
Those are beautiful moments too.
it's for sure. Well, and also, I think what's happening, this is what I suspect. What I suspect is happening is it's people are just, it's like the buffet of wisdom. And people are just offering up suggestions and reminding ourselves, and we remind ourselves of what we already know. And that's what it feels like inside my life experience, that I hear somebody say something. And of course, I had the front row seat as EP of the Oprah show. I had the front row seat to all the smart ones,
Yeah.
all the people who have lots of gems to offer the world. And what I noticed was what it would feel like inside of me is, oh, that's right. Yep. Oprah called them aha moments. But it was like, yes, that's right. Yes, I know that. Yes, I'm reminded of that. Yes, that's powerful. Yes, that's my language. So I think that's a little bit of what our assignment is in this life experience, really, is to find our language and start speaking it.
And one of the people I know that you really love is Esther Hicks.
Oh God.
Yeah,
The core of my soul.
Oh, you got it all sparkly. That was really cute.
Soul.
Look at your eye. They just sparkled when I said that. Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got goosebumps at that.
Yeah. Well, Esther Hicks is one of the great spiritual teachers of our time. I love her personally, but her work with her husband Jerry, who has made his transition, and Abraham, which is the infinite consciousness that delivers the goods. I've been on this path for maybe 15 years. And what I love about it is it's just so simple. It's like where we have agency, where we have our hands on the wheel of our own lives, if we so choose, is in the story we're telling ourselves. And that story is a powerful creative tool. And I'm always reminded of that when I tune into Abraham Hicks and I attend a digital workshop or listen to one of the seminars. I'm always reminded that yes, 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 yes.
Love it. All right, I got to go back to no, because we have beautiful no. I need to go back. I know you're like yes, 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 but I got to go back here.
I know.
And not in a negative way. It's a beautiful way. It's beautiful no. And one of the things that I would love for people to hear from you and hear you say and see you say is what this means. Because I know I had a personal moment where I called you the other day and I'm like, oh, this just happened. What do I do? And you're like, you're
beautiful now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the beautiful now, obviously it's so profound for me that I made it the actual title of my memoir, but, and it's become a deeply rooted spiritual principle, which is, and it's based on how I got the job at the Oprah show. And basically what had happened, I had applied years before to the Oprah show and got summarily rejected because I was in advertising. So that kind of production didn't match television production. And I was producing television commercials, but I had gone freelance. So, and freelance means not only do you do the work, but you have to find the work. There's no salary coming in. And I was terrible at that, terrible at it. I just leave a message. I didn't like hound.
I really am. I try to hide that about myself. But
horrible.
It's uncomfortable.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask anybody for anything. I don't want to bother anybody. I mean, I'm so bad at it that there I was 35 years old and I couldn't pay my rent. I couldn't pay my bills. I was so out of money. I was so bad at it. And I got a great big huge interview at a big time agency, and at the interview the executive producer almost hired me in the room and made all kinds of promises, big salary, the premier accounts, senior level. I mean, it was, and so I walked out like, oh my God, thank God I'm saved. And of course, it's only a good story because I didn't get the job.
Right.
I got a form letter from the human resources department.
Really?
And oh yeah, it was terrible. It was like, sorry, we're not hiring at this time. I'd already had the champagne celebration that I got the job.
Yeah, I would have had a credit card and new shoes myself.
Oh,
But
so terrible.
a new suit and outfit for the job, you know?
Right. Well, I probably did that too. Now that I think about it, I probably went out and spent some money that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there I am laying on the couch watching General Hospital, eating, you know, chips with greasy hair, my glasses on, and just feeling a lot of despair. Like 35 years old, what do I have to show for it? I've had a million different jobs. I haven't found the thing. I can't seem to get in the lane. And, you know, I look back on that and I think, was there a release there? Did I open my hands? But there was something of the rock bottom nature of that allowed the universe to deliver, and cooperative components to just deliver this little moment, which was a phone call from the Oprah show. Hey, we're cleaning out a closet. We found your reel and resume. Will you come in and freelance for us?
Seriously.
And that was the beginning of everything. But, you know, I'm not as wise. I wasn't as wise back then. I couldn't put the pieces together. But a couple of years later, as I'm on this rocket ride of that will never come again in our lifetime, that is the Oprah Winfrey show, I looked back at that horrible no, that devastating no, that no to that job that I thought I needed so much and that I wanted so much, that massive disappointment. And I'm like, oh my God, that is the beautiful no, most beautiful no you've ever gotten. Because if you had started that job that next week, you would have never left it to go take a chance at the Oprah show. And your life would have been very, very different, my friend. Yeah. So I just started to see that there are lots of beautiful no's in my life. Almost every no in my life is a beautiful no, and yours too. So that's what I love, Elizabeth. I love when you tell me that story about a disappointment and I say, oh, that's your beautiful no.
Yeah. I've got a bunch of them too.
You're going to find out soon. You're going to find out soon why it's so gorgeous.
Well, I think that's why this resonates with me so much, is because I've got them, and they're like little leap, though they're huge, actually, some really big leaps of faith, where somebody has, you know, rejection or even my own no, like, no, I'm not doing that, or whatever, where I've said no. You know, I picked up and moved all the way across country, you know, got divorced and moved and remarried, and I mean there are a lot of things that have happened in my own life. So I love your book and love your work, and I love the fact that you've got I mean, how cool is that to be able to work with you for 5 days, an hour each day, starting January, did you say 11th?
January 11th.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I mean, to have
it's going to be great
to somebody, I always say that to someone like you, and I go back. I get so embarrassed. I say this a lot because people will email me and go, oh, can you connect me with Sheri? I'm like, you know, here's her website here, you know, kind of thing. And it's funny because you're you know, kind of thing. You might not realize how, you know, beautiful,
I certainly do not.
Are. I know, but when I first, you know, connected with you on Twitter, I was like, your hair, you know, and hawk eyes and everything.
Here's what you're not saying.
No,
what you're not saying.
Like the biggest dingling.
No, I chased you. I chased you. I'm like, who is this Elizabeth? Oh my God, Iowa Hawkeye?
Look, I'm
oh
red.
My gosh. Listen, anybody who's an Iowa Hawkeye, you're my instant friend. Because I have such a deep, 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 deep love for the University of Iowa. And you were like, oh, hello. And I was like, okay, let me come at you again. So that's really the true story.
I know.
I pursued you on Twitter.
I love you, but I felt so embarrassed. I'm like Googling, oh my God, whoops. You know, kind of thing that like,
that's
oh no,
so funny.
kind of thing. But that, you know, whatever. But yeah, Iowa girl, I was raised in Iowa. I was Miss like Iowa teen, and I love Iowa.
Weren't you a beauty queen?
Yeah, well, I'm 51, but yeah, they're back in the back over there.
Oh my
Leaving a
gosh.
thing.
Oh yes.
There's
I
the
remember
back.
you Iowa beauty queens. I was raised in the northern suburbs of Chicago. I was raised in actually Waukegan, Illinois.
Oh, I know that
But
place.
I went to Iowa because I decided I was going to med school.
Oh,
And
I
Iowa,
thought I was going to
Iowa,
med school too. Isn't that funny?
Iowa, yeah. And Iowa has such a fantastic med program.
Oh,
And of course, I almost flunked out after the first semester because turned out my major was socializing.
yeah, I had that Sigma Kappa thing too. Um, yeah, my major was socializing there too. So after a year of the University of Iowa, and I never was like a B student. I moved over to the St. Ambrose in Davenport.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I felt like I needed a little bit smaller.
Well, I can understand because it was a rip roaring good time.
Wasn't
I
it?
mean, oh my God, because I went to a small Catholic high school. So to all of a sudden be unleashed amidst 30,000 fun people, oh my God, the
Oh,
time of my life.
on
The
the
time of
CAN
my life
bus.
I had.
The CAN bus. Remember? Did they have the CAN
Oh,
bus
please.
and Mayflower? Did they have Mayflower Hall when you were there? I mean, like I lived
Yes,
in
they
Mayflower.
did. No, Mayflower was, those were apartments when I was there.
Yeah.
So I lived in Burge, the dorm, and
Oh,
then
I did too.
I was an 80 Pi. Oh, 3219 was my room number.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, that was not my room number. I
3219.
can't even remember my room number. That's how
Yeah,
bad.
I
But
know. It's
I
so
lived
crazy.
there, and then
That's how much I loved it. I
oh,
remember my
I
freshman
can't
year
remember my
dorm
room
room.
number. I'm gonna have to look.
Yes.
Oh,
And
that's
then
funny.
I lived in the house. I was an 80 Pi. And still there is probably 50, 80 Pies that I'm connected with on a daily email. Like we love each other.
How
Like
fun is that?
it was profoundly transformative, that experience for me of leaving home. And yeah, so that's something we share. You and I were at Iowa.
Okay, I love to hear about that. Can I keep going with that for just a minute? I know
Yes.
we're on TV, and we probably got to taking too much time here, so we'll wrap up here in a minute.
Yeah.
But when you were a kid, we go back to even like kindergarten or elementary school or high school or college. Did you ever think that you were going to write books?
Well, one of my dreams,
like, what was your dream? Yeah.
I found well, here are my dreams as a child: to be a paleontologist, a marine biologist, or to write the history of Poland.
Really?
So none of those things have I done, but I did write a memoir. Well, what would I say about that? I would say that I wanted significance. I wanted to make something of myself. I had a bit of the producer in me from a very early age. I was the oldest cousin on both sides and bossy as hell. So, and I loved shows and productions, and so I was kind of born into these two families where I had my little castmates. So yeah, there was always I think I dreamed of a big life.
Did you think acting ever? Like
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That I was gonna say no, but yes, because that was my minor. That was my minor at Iowa. I took all kinds of acting classes. Listen, I wish I was better at it. I thought that was so fun. I just wasn't good enough. I was in plays and I'm like, you're not really that good. But I wasn't. And especially when I saw people who were really talented. And there was a group that right after graduation, we're going to move to New York to try out for theater. And they kind of scooped me up and were taking me with. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm going to end up starving on the street. I'm not good enough. So I just kind of resolved that in my mind.
That's interesting. Yeah, I had a little bit of that too. Yeah, I still, I did. I did a lot of commercials as a kid, and I thought, when I, get older and things like that, I'll act or do commercials and things. I've done a few commercials as an adult, but not. I agree with you. Like there's a whole skill set involved.
Yeah, I mean that's the truth.
But
it's talent. It's talent. It's a gift. Like we come here with some gifts. And when I had to get honest, when I knew that it was going to mean like sharing a studio apartment in New York City with 5 other people, then I had to get real about my gifts.
Yeah.
I was like, you're
We're
not
gonna
that
make
good.
money. Yeah. All right. So I love the little stories. I have one more question. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody does this, and I just behind you on the walls what's one special thing that you would tell us about something behind you on the wall?
Oh, well,
Or a
first of all,
tree.
isn't that nice that I didn't clear off my UPS little
No,
stool
I got the
package
same.
before
I
we
have
did
a
this?
cat. Look at all the
That's
stuff
hilarious.
here.
I'm usually a little bit more on it.
No, it's
Well,
okay.
let's see. So that art, I started collecting art at the Chicago Art Fair, the Lincoln Park Art Fair in Chicago. Very, very, and I had my friend Perry Stieber. I remember he used to tell me, he was my boss at my first agency job, and he used to tell me, save your money and buy one good thing. You know, because I had all kinds of framed posters and stuff. He goes, get rid of that. He goes, just save your money and buy one little piece of art at a time. So I took that advice, and I've ended up with quite a collection of art that's meaningful to me. There's I don't know if you can see it here. I'm looking at it, so you can't, but it's all over my house. That's kind
Beautiful.
of my style, is white walls and my pieces of art, my paintings.
Gorgeous.
And there's things I bought when I had no money. There's things I bought when I had more money, and each one has a little story for me. It's like surrounding myself with the story of my life without it all being photographs, because
Oh,
I've removed all photographs from my house.
really?
I did.
Or is
I
there a
did
reason?
it. Yeah, I did it. I did it maybe 3 years ago, because I mean, listen, I was like everybody else. I loaded with fabulous photographs. Me with
Probably of you
so-and-so,
with this person and you with
me
this
with
person.
so-and-so, me with,
Yeah.
yeah. All in different frames, different Tiffany silver frames. And finally one day I was walking by and I'm like, what's that feeling I have? What's the energy I'm feeling? And I said, oh, every time you walk by and look at those photographs, you're going back to the past.
Uh,
You're putting yourself in a past moment. If it's somebody who's no longer here, you're feeling a little bit of grief. If it's somebody, you know, it's you're always going back in the past, and maybe what you want to do is just be super hyper present into this moment. So as an experiment, I took all those photographs, my parents, my brother, my nieces and nephews, you know, famous people, this person, that person, friends, I, great photos. I loaded them all up and I packed them away. And sure enough, what a difference. I
Interesting.
had no idea how it was holding me back. It was
That
keeping
is
me from being hyper present to this day and this moment and what I'm creating right now.
that is cool, actually, because as you know, my father passed away,
Mm,
and I have this I'm not gonna. I'm gonna move the picture. I think I don't know
yeah,
if I'm ready to put it away yet, but it makes me cry. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
this is making me cry. And I'm torn between this memory. It's a cool picture of my dad didn't like to get on airplanes. He was terrified of flying. And I got him on airplanes a few times to go to when I lived in Tahoe. And he loved
yeah.
Lake Tahoe. He's like, oh, this is cool. And I actually have my dad in like shorts and sunglasses on a beach.
I
It's just
love
like
that.
trippy. So it's my parents with sunglasses on, you know, hanging out on the beach. And it just freaks me out though now. I'm like, oh, I would kill to go back to that moment. And
I
every time,
know.
and I'm like, so I've got to frame that moment differently or do
Yeah,
something.
and
But
then
yeah,
you'll also know when
look
you're
at it.
ready.
Eerie.
You know, the moment's right here.
Yeah,
You know, the memory's right here. It's right here.
it is.
So,
Right.
you
It's created
know,
by,
but it's different than being pulled out of your life constantly by walking past a bank of photographs.
that's exactly what happens too.
You know.
That's the
Hmm.
first explanation of that I've really ever heard, because I've thought of that with that photo. I'm like, that photo makes me really sad. And
Right.
I was having a good day until I walked by that and thought about it. And I'm like,
For
oh,
sure.
part of it's grief. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Got
anyway,
to feel that grief. You got to let it roll. So let the tears are just an energy release. You know, I've plenty of times I've stuffed that down, thinking that I was healed, and then it just comes roaring back. You know, later in your life. So
yeah.
you know, just cry, 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 cry. It's good for you.
For me, that comes roaring back in the form of chocolate in the pantry. So I have to be really careful. Anyway, all right. Well, again, it's been just a true joy having you here with us. I love being able to share time with you and learn from you and see your beautiful smiling face, your energy, your books, your websites, everything. It's just, you know, what a 2021 we're going to have with you by our side.
I really appreciate it. I
It's
really
beautiful.
thank you. You know, let me say that this is your gift, best ever you, is that you really see, you see the power in people. You see the gifts they have to offer, and you illuminate them. So I thank you, my friend, for seeing me, and I thank you for being there for me and for supporting me and for, you know, helping me, you know, speak. You know,
Oh, that is so
really,
that might be one of the
that
kindest
is
compliments. Oh,
that's your gift.
thank
Your
you.
gift.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Beautiful. No, you're gonna make me cry. Sheri Salata, and /transformation. You can go to her website and join. Oh no, you made me teary. I made me teary. Thank you for that. But anyway, beautiful, beautiful. Now join Sheri, and we're all gonna have a great 2021. It's been bumpy 2020. So here we are. All right. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Sheri. Thank you for being with us.
My friend.
And I love it. Thanks, everybody. Take care.